use of force. He, according to police, shoved the clerk. So what we're looking at now, according to police, is Michael Brown in the white shirt and the red cap, reaching on that store shelf for box after box of these cigars, which they allege he stole. Don Limit, let me bring you back in Ferguson, in touch with a lot of the community there who are absolutely outraged that police have even released these videos, especially since we heard just minutes ago from that police chief saying that the officer who shot and killed Michael Brown wasn't even aware of that strong-arm robbery in the first place. To you, your read.
Again, this is the most inconsistencies I've had in a story that we have covered in quite some time. I'm looking at the video now as we speak. It's interesting, Brooke, because why would he go up to a counter if he's stealing something? I don't know. It's just weird. He appears to go up to the counter. He's talking to someone behind the counter. He's got the cigars in his hand, and then he sort of moves around, talks to the person, and then bends down and puts them in a bag or what have you. And then the other guy, which you see in the other angle, comes up after he leaves and points at him about stealing something. It's hard to really tell what's going on in the video. And as we were watching the video very closely, my producer and I now, if you look at the stills, if you just look at the stills that they released earlier, it looks a lot, you know, worse than what it is. Listen, I'm not saying it's right for anyone to steal anything or to push anyone around or to use violence. But if you look at the confrontation on the video, it's basically a shove of like, get away from me, man, get out of here. And it's not like the punch that had been described by police officers, or it's not as dramatic as you see when it's in still motion. Again, not right to use physical violence. But I don't know exactly what this videotape shows, because he actually goes up to someone at a counter. I don't know if he pays for it at the counter. We really don't know. It doesn't really say that much to me. The pushing and shoving shows a lot, but the second angle really, to me, doesn't say anything.
Well, just looking at page 7 of the document drop from the police this morning, they used the words Brown aggressively pulls. They've blanked out his name. This is the clerk getting close to him, pushes him into a display rack. I mean, I think to the point, whether it's a shove or a punch or what have you, clearly this clerk felt threatened enough to pick up the phone and to call 911. Don, stay with me. I want to just bring in CNN commentator Mark Lamont Hill and also senior media correspondent Brian Stelter, who's in D.C. And Mark, I think I went immediately, once I saw this initial piece of video, and I went immediately to your Twitter page, because I know you have a strong voice and you have an opinion, and I was just curious your take on it. And I think, I would imagine your take remains, now that we're seeing more and more pieces of video, that it is like the criminalization of a victim.
Yes, and we see this over and over and over again. Whenever there's particularly a black victim, we begin to delve into their life, into their behavior, and we end up putting them on trial as opposed to the person who killed them. And in this case, even before I knew that there was no connection between the shoplifting charge and the cop stop, I still said these two things are not connected. This is not a capital offense. Even if he did commit a crime, that doesn't make you deserving of lethal force. And if your hands are in the air, you shouldn't be shot.
If Paul Callan were sitting here and he was an attorney basically arguing it does matter, and he said it matters because with this police officer who did not know about the robbery, Michael Brown knew about the robbery, and that would predicate aggressive behavior potentially toward an officer, which could then predicate the defense of force. That's jumping to a lot of
reasonable argument,
but that was his argument.
It's a bit of a leap, and it's not necessarily consistent with the witness reports that we've heard all week, and it's not consistent with where he was shot and how far he was from the police car.
Right.
So those facts that we have access to don't bear that out. But as an abstract idea, absolutely, that could matter.
Stay with me, because I want to broaden this out. But Brian Stelter, to you, listen, when I say we, CNN, we, members of the media, play these videos and show these pictures, it's not like we just pop it up on the screen. There are very important people that sit in a room with the door closed, really, really going over and churning whether or not we should play these kinds of items. I mean, decisions are made.
They are, and it's important not to run them endlessly on a loop. It is important to run them. We do need to see it, but we also need to be aware of all the context. And I love the banner. It was on the bottom of the screen when we were showing the video. It says, police detail robbery, but not shooting. That is where the focus still needs to be. If you're a cynic, you might suggest that this press conference this morning happened, and we heard all about the robbery, but we still haven't heard the details of what happened with the shooting and in the immediate aftermath of the shooting when and a young man's body laid on the ground there for hours and then was pushed into the back of an SUV. If you're a cynic, you might think the police were trying to distract us from those questions.
Yes.
And just reading your tweets, talking to a number of different people, including I talked to a woman who lost her son in an illegal chokehold from New York police 20 years ago, and she too was rattling off all these different names of unarmed young black men who have been killed. And I can't necessarily apply this here because we don't know the facts, but you know, you talk to a lot of people, and there is a pattern.
And by the way, Brooke, I have to admit, I didn't know all of those names, but I know many people in the African-American community do know those names. And that is a disconnect that I think hopefully is somewhat being improved right now.
Absolutely. I mean, just in the last few weeks with Eric Garner and Renisha McBride, the trial of her killer was a few weeks ago, we keep bringing these names back out because we don't want people to forget them. But it's a very consistent pattern of unarmed black people who are getting killed through extrajudicial means, through law enforcement. And so when they say, well, give the police the benefit of the doubt, if this happens every day or every 28 hours, as one study suggests, then it's hard to keep giving people the benefit of the doubt. There isn't that much doubt. Now, again, we need more facts here, more evidence, but the evidence does not look good. And the release of a tape, coincidentally on the day where we get the officer's name, to me does nothing to undermine the argument that this is wrong.
Apparently a lot of the details haven't come out, just according to the prosecuting attorney, because they don't want to taint witness statements, because what we don't know is what happened, what led up to those 4, 5, 6 shots that ultimately took the life of Michael Brown. Mark Lamont Hill, thank you so much, as always, and Don Lemon and Brian Stelter, thank you guys very much. Coming up after all the events in Ferguson, a lot of people are saying, why didn't the police have cameras rolling to record this encounter, be it in the patrol cars or on the different officers? Up next, we will take you inside a police department in a city in Florida to show you the benefits of that kind of 24/7 camera technology. Back after this.
What are you doing, Jay? Hang out of your own tree.
It's my tree. I'm just trying to do something nice for the neighborhood birds.
You don't care about the birds. You're just trying to get their droppings on my dart.
I've always supported birds. They're one of nature's miracles.
What's this even? This is not even part of a tree.
Sure it is. It's to feed the birds.
Look where you put the birdhouse.
I didn't even notice your car here. I literally didn't even notice it.
It's coming down.
It's not coming down.
Oh, it's coming down.
I'll call the police.
I hope you do.
I would love to call the police.
I would love to see you think the police would side with you on this.
Starting Friday at Joseph A. Bank, it's half off. Plus, your third item is free. That's a huge selection of shirts, ties, pants, polos, and shorts. Mix and match. Half off, and your third item is free. Through Monday only at Joseph A. Bank.
Smile.
No matter how well you provide for your family today, if you don't have life insurance, their future may be at risk. Why not help guarantee those you love $250,000 or more with life insurance through AIG Direct? Less than $14 a month buys a 40-year-old man a $250,000 term life policy. That's up to 3 times what you can get from other companies for the same price. Make the future more secure for those you love.
Call 1-800-375-2288 for a free quote.
When you invest your retirement in the stock market, your money can go up, then down, and down again. And with many annuities, your income stays the same with no chance of increasing. But with JD Signature Annuity Strategies from JD Melberg, your monthly retirement income is guaranteed, and you could even earn up to 8%.
There's a locked-in guarantee on the income payout. It can never go below that. It can only increase.
We specially design annuity strategies with top-rated financial carriers to help you earn as much as 20 to 40% more guaranteed income than competitors. And with these guaranteed insurance contracts, your income can only go up, never down.
Is it possible to have your money grow and produce more income? The answer is yes.
Go to jdannuity.com or call 800-230-3993 to get your free confidential guide to getting up to 8% and a no-obligation quote. That's jdannuity.com or call 800-230-3993 for your free guide and free quote.
Sailing through the heart of cities and landscapes with Viking, you'll see things differently. You'll get closer to iconic landmarks, to local life and cultural treasures. It's a feeling that only a river can give you, that only Viking can give you. Spend less time getting there and more time being there. Viking River Cruises, exploring the world in comfort.
Sunday night on the hunt.
to seeing all your friends dying and knowing that you're next.
Guillermo Madrigal Ballesteros has to be held accountable for what he's done.
The Hunt with John Walsh, Sunday night at 9 on CNN.
The lies keep me alive. The truth could destroy me.
Legends, all new, Wednesday at 9 on TNT.
And clarifying, one of the other questions that came quite a bit was on the role of two officers. Some were thinking it was the same officer.